Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm crying so much, but I feel like I took a picture of so many quotes. I feel like a fool again trying to talk about this book. I don't trust you. You guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Dorinda, and today we are going to be doing a reading vlog. And today's reading vlog is very exciting because my husband is going to be picking my 3 next reads. So very, very nervous about this, but he does have some rules. He has to pick at least 1 book that's on my March TBR, and then the other 2 books have to be physically owned already. So he doesn't have like too much freedom, but I am curious to see what he's going to pick. I kind of am nervous. I feel like there's certain books that he might pick and I don't really want to read him right now, but let's go pull him down here and see what he has for us to read. Here he is.
Hey, babe.
Hi. Okay, so here are the rules. You have to pick a book off my March TBR, at least 1. And then the other 2.
The ones that you already picked?
Yes, the ones I already picked. So
okay.
Check out that video if you want more details. And then the other 2, you have to pick off my physical TBR or off our shelf. Any book that I haven't read.
What's a physical TBR?
A physical TBR is a physical book that I own that is to be read. That's what TBR means.
Okay.
So you can't like pick a book that I have to go out and buy.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, I looked at all your books,
Mm-hmm.
kind of between these 2.
Mm-hmm.
And since Francine Rivers is your favorite and you're going to read it anyways, I'm going to pick Go as a River.
Wow, I was not expecting you to pick this one.
It looks pretty good. I was reading the cover and everything. It looks pretty good.
All right, so our first pick from him is Go as a River by Shelley Reed. Now let's go over to our physical TBR and let's see what he chooses. You got to look through some of my books, and I fear I knew you were going to do this.
You knew I was going to pick Mere Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
You've been needing to read that book. And then Dune. Let's go. I'm excited for her to read this one. And I'm excited to watch the movies with you.
I was looking at my TBR cart earlier, and I looked at Dune, and I was like, no.
Yeah, I think it's 3 books in 1.
Okay.
So.
It's big. It's like 600 pages, so I'm a little bit nervous about that. But thanks, babe. All right, so I think we're gonna start with Go as a River, just because I just came off of The Way of the Kings and then a mystery book, so I'm not sure I'm ready for Dune or Mere Christianity. I mean, I could read Mere Christianity, but I think I'm in the mood for a literary fiction, and it's on my March TBR, so might as well like knock one down while we're at it. This is a story of love deeply held, even in the face of hardship, loss, finding courage, resilience, and finally home where least expected. So it sounds really good. I think it's a short read too. I'm pretty sure it's like just over 300 pages. It looks like it takes place in like the 1950s, 1970s, which is kind of fun. Like it's a little bit of a historical book. I'm excited. It's really, really beautiful outside. So I think I'm also gonna take a walk, and I realized that this has an audiobook as well, which kind of enticed me to read it and pick it up. So let's get reading. So it has been a couple days that I've gotten to read this book. I'm not too far in. I think I'm almost about halfway. I am on page 130, and I am actually really enjoying this book so far. It was kind of hard to get into at the beginning because the writing style is quite different than what I was just reading, which was like a mystery. It's very descriptive. The author uses a lot of metaphors to describe the scenery that we are in. We are around like the 1940 era, which I think I mentioned before, but it's honestly so vivid. I feel like I'm back there in like the old American world, the old American lifestyle. The author's shining a light on racism at the time because our main character ends up falling in love with someone who is a Native American, and she gets a lot of hate from her family because of that. And the story that we're following is honestly kind of heartbreaking. And I'm curious to see where we go. I'm curious to see like what the rest of the plot is because of where we're at right now. Nonetheless, I'm enjoying it, and I just wanted to give you guys a little update. So as you can tell, I finished this book. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm crying so much, but excuse the way I look. I literally have not gotten ready for the day. I'm like, it's still in my PJs, but gosh, this book is so good, and I feel like no one talks about it, and it's so good. I think like when you become a mom or a parent and you start to read books, a lot of books actually have like parental mother themes in it and just talking about children and what it's like to be a parent, and it's so hard when you have kids. And I just love this book. It's so beautiful. I highly recommend it. I honestly don't know I'm gonna rate it. You might have to wait to watch my March wrap up to see my rating, because honestly I don't know. It's definitely like over a 4-star. I don't know if it's a 5-star. It honestly might be a 5-star because I'm literally crying. But it was kind of hard to get into at first, but it's just such a beautiful writing. I feel like I'm leaning towards 5 stars. Honestly, the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, this is a 5-star book. I highly recommend it. I definitely think like if you like literary fiction, if you like following someone over a large time frame, like if you like following someone over years, and we're following Victoria, we're not only following her as like a coming of age, like getting older, but we're also following her in a lot of loss and devastation that she has, and even like resilience and building a home, and what motherhood is like, obviously, because I'm crying about that aspect, and just like the ending is just so sweet and so sad, and it's just so good. Like it's just so I'm gonna start crying again. It's so good. I just highly recommend this, and I'm so glad I picked it up because, like I said, I've never heard anybody talk about it, and I think that if you're interested in the plot synopsis, like, please pick it up. It's so good. It's so beautiful. As you can tell, I started Mere Christianity. Oh, babe.
Sorry.
No, you're doing it perfect. I can't even do it now. I'm just scared.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay. I don't trust you. So as you can tell, I started Mere Christianity, and it's going really, really good. I actually started it a while ago while I was still reading Go as a River. So I'm about 72 pages in, and it's definitely suited for a newer Christian, or even people that aren't Christians but are interested in the faith and want to read a book about it. Because the way that he formats the book is he first wants the reader to understand that there is a God, and that there is a... Yeah. Thanks, babe. Sorry for the interruption of my husband. So like I was saying, it's definitely formatted for a new believer because he's just trying to get you to understand that there is a God, because he talks about like moral law and like human law, and that there obviously has to be a God behind that. And then he ventures into like who Jesus is, and then now he's venturing into what life as a Christian is like, and I'm really enjoying it. I definitely think the way that he describes things is really well done, and I find myself wanting to highlight it. I don't know if I want to highlight this book, because sometimes when I highlight books, I don't really like how it looks, or when I like give it to someone else, it kind of, I don't know, it can get in the way of the writing sometimes. So I've definitely taken a couple of photos of...
Something just snapped. Something inside of me.
That's how I feel right now. I've taken some pictures of some passages that I like that I wanted to read for you guys. Okay, so the first one says, "But the Christian thinks any good he does comes from the Christ life inside of him. He does not think God will love us because we are good, but that God will make us good because he loves us. Just as the roof of a greenhouse does not attract the sun because it is bright, but becomes bright because the sun shines on it." I really like that. It talks about like works and being good, and that it's not what makes God love us, but when you are a Christian, you just naturally want to do good works because Christ is living inside of us. I really like the way that he described that. Basically, it's going really good. I'll update you guys later if I have any more passages or anything that I want to share with you guys, but I am loving it so far, and I'm glad that my husband made me read it, because I definitely think it's a necessity when you are a Christian. So it's been a couple days, and I did finish Mere Christianity, and I really, really enjoyed this book. It was really good. I feel like After I finished this book, I was on the walk with one of my friends and I just kept on referencing this book and how much it's already impacted me. I feel like C.S. Lewis is a genius. I think that the way he describes Christianity, especially like if you're a new believer, I think that he really lays the ground for you as you're reading really well. And then he also goes into like Christian beliefs, and his viewpoint on those were so well done. He talks about Christian marriage, he talks about faith, he talks about hope, he talks about forgiveness, he even talks about like theology and the Holy Spirit and the Trinity. And I don't know, every single chapter, I was really blown away by the way that he was describing things and just laying things out for me. I feel like I took a picture of so many quotes because I was like, wow, this is so good. I know I read, I think one of them the last time I talked to you, so maybe I can pull up a couple more and read them to you. Let's see which ones I can find. So this one is where he's talking about forgiveness. He says, everyone says forgiveness is a lovely idea until they have something to forgive, as we had during the war, and then to mention the subject at all is to be greeted with howls of anger. It is not that people think this too high and difficult a virtue, it is that they think it hateful, and I can't read that word right now, and I feel like I'm gonna look like a fool again if I try to read it. This chapter was just really good. I loved how he talked about forgiveness. I love how he talked about like the quote about like loving others as you would love yourself, and how we don't necessarily like, even if you don't love yourself, you still like yourself enough to look past the flaws that you have because you're like, oh, I'll be better. I'm gonna be able to accomplish that eventually, or one day I'll be able to do that, or just like honestly bypassing the things that you do wrong because you know that you have like a good heart or whatever. And he basically talks about how like we should be giving that to other people, and that other people also probably feel the same way about each other, and that we don't necessarily have to love them like we like ourselves, but we have to like them like we like ourselves. I don't know if that made sense. I felt like I kind of am just rambling. I feel like you just need to read his work and read what he has to say because he gives you a far better job at it than me describing it. But I loved it. I definitely rated it a 5-star. I feel like I read every Christian fiction for the most part a 5-star because I just think they're always well done. So highly recommend that book. And then I'm sure you saw this morning, I did start Dune a couple days ago. I am 150 pages in. I wasn't really able to film it all when I started it, but I am really enjoying it. I was kind of nervous to get into Dune, and that's why when Jackson picked it, I was like, oh no. But honestly, I'm really enjoying it. I feel like it's really easy to understand, even though there's so many terminology. There's a whole new world that you're learning about, and it's a little confusing. He does have like a terminology sheet at the end where he goes over all the meanings of all the words that you may be confused about, which is really, really helpful. I have referenced that, and it does help a lot. But essentially in this book, if you don't know, if you haven't seen the movies, we are following our main character, Paul, and his family goes to this deserted planet called Arceus. Oh my gosh, I feel like if you've seen the movie or you know this, you're probably like shaking your head, but it is a planet where they harvest this thing called spice, and I think what he says in the back is it helps with your mind and like seeing prophecies and stuff like that. I don't know, I'm still kind of like getting into like what spice is, but there's like a prophecy about Paul where they think he is this guy named like the Mohabib. I don't know, I feel like a fool again trying to talk about this book. But it's definitely really interesting. It definitely is a sci-fi book, but it follows like this fantasy structure a little bit. We're following like this man who is like a prophetic character. You know, he's supposed to be like the chosen one plot, and I think that's really fun. It's my husband.
I am Paul Atreides, son of Leto Atreides, Dude of Arrakis.
Oh, it's Arrakis. Arrakis. Maybe I should just ask you. I feel like I could ramble on a lot about nonsense right now, so I'm just going to continue to read this book, and I'll update you guys a little bit further on. But yeah, I'm really, really enjoying this book. Oh my gosh, that's such a cute bird. So me and Jackson are going to watch the first like 10 minutes of Dune. He recommended it. He said that I probably will help me. He said that it'll probably help me with the terminology and just like to see the picture. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Jackson made some popcorn. You wanna show me popcorn?
Can you even see me? I can't tell.
So yeah, we're gonna watch it. I'll let you guys know what I think. Where's my bookmark? I don't know. So I am on page 431 and I am really enjoying this book so far. Me and my husband, we watched Dune Part 1. I think that's what the movie is called. And we finished it because I got to that part of the book. And it definitely really helped with the imagery of this book. I feel like the technology and even the world itself was kind of hard to imagine at first. I feel like I'm speaking through this book a lot faster because I can see it and I understand it more. And it definitely gives this better emotion when I'm reading it. I don't know. I'm really enjoying it now that I've watched the movie. Do you find this world very fascinating? It's definitely very politically driven and there's a lot of like religion aspects to this book too. Even think like with the chosen one trope. I know I was kind of describing this book before earlier in like another clip and I don't think I was doing a good job. Now that I feel like I'm kind of understanding the gist of it, I feel like it's a lot more interesting. Like I was saying, the chosen one trope is very different from other books. Like Paul isn't necessarily, at least so far from what I know, isn't necessarily like the chosen one where these cultures, these people in the world know it as. I think like he's just falling into the descriptions. His mother and where his mother comes from, like her group of people, they like pre-planned these prophecies. They pre-planned this like religion Messiah into this world so that when they came here, his family came here, they would be accepted and they would see him as this like Messiah. So like I think that's really interesting, but also like Paul, he has something going on. Like he can like see the future. So that's really interesting as well. And like in the book and the way that they talk about things and like the way that we see inside people's heads is really interesting because you don't see that in the movie, which I really am enjoying. I also really like the talk about like water and like their preservation of water and how much they value water is really interesting. This is definitely like a science fiction book. Obviously, it's a science fiction book, but I definitely think, like I said before, it has some like fantasy elements, but I am really enjoying the science fiction aspect of this book. I am curious to see where it goes. I haven't seen the rest of the Dune movies, so I am going to be like reading the book first and then watching the movies probably afterwards, but I'm really, really liking it. It's very interesting. I'm curious to see if like the paradise that they're wanting on Arrakis, I know it and then it like leaves my brain. But I'm really interesting to see like what happens. Where does this plot go? So yeah, but so far I'm enjoying it. I'm almost done with part 2 and then I'll be on the last part, which I think is called The Prophet. But so far, so good. I just wanted to update you guys a little bit on my reading process through it all. But yeah, I'm really liking it so far. Been a couple days, but I did finish Dune, and overall I really did enjoy it. It was very different from the books I normally read since it was like a sci-fi book. I don't think I'm going to continue the series. I was at Barnes & Noble the other day and I did come across like the next book, which is The Messiah, which follows Paul. I don't want to give any spoilers just in case you haven't seen the movie or read the book. I feel like most people probably have done either, but I definitely think I was getting a little bit bored towards the end, which is funny because like that's like the climax of the story. But I was kind of like, ugh, I feel like it took us so long to get here. I just want it to be over. And I thought it was good. I don't know. It was just missing something. Like it was missing that feeling of engagement that I normally have when I'm reading like a high fantasy book. And like I said, it is sci-fi, but I feel like generally I do enjoy sci-fi books. So I was a little thrown off. I do think, like I said, I watched Dune 1 and I really enjoyed Dune 1, but me and my husband actually currently are almost finished with Dune 2. We watched it in segments because we are parents. We have lives. But I just feel like the Dune 2 movie was really different than the book, and I think that it made me realize, one, that the book maybe didn't have as much like movie cinematic climax of a storyline that it could have. I feel like the movie was very different in my opinion from the book. I mean, like not entirely different, but different enough. And I felt like that the book was kind of missing that like high stakes, even though there was stakes. I don't know. It just was kind of like, it felt like it was like a watered down version of stakes. I don't know. Maybe that was just my own reading experience, but I do think it was really interesting. I think like the storyline that we follow, especially with like the religion aspect, was really intriguing, really interesting. I like the politicalness between like the different worlds and trying to become like emperor and just like having control of the spice production, and all of that was actually quite interesting in my opinion. I definitely just think like the way that the story went was kind of anticlimactic. So that is the only reason why it wasn't 5 stars. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that Jackson had me read this book because honestly, it probably would have sat in my TBR for a while and I probably would have avoided it. So I'm glad to say that I've read it and also have watched it. So that's always super exciting. But that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and comment and let me know what your thoughts are, maybe on these books as well. But I hope you guys have a good rest of your day and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.